Hari Om. Bhagavad Gita chanting, chapter 9, verse 11 to 20.
जानन्ति मां मूढाः मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितम् परं भावमजानन्तः मम भूतमहेश्वरम् मोघाशामोघकर्माणः मोघज्ञानाविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम् सततं कीर्तयन्तो माम् यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वधाहमहमौषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम् पिताहमस्य जगतः माता धाता पितामहः वेद्यं पवित्रमोङ्कारः ऋक्सामयजुरेव च गतिर्भर्ता प्रभुः साक्षी निवासः शरणं सुहृत् प्रभवः प्रलयस्थानम् निधानं बीजमव्ययम् तपाम्यहमहं वर्षम् निर्गृह्णाम्युत्सृजामि च अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च सदसच्चाहमर्जुन त्रैविद्या मां सोमपापूतपापाः यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् गिरिदेवभोगान्
Brahman is not an idea to be captured by the intellect. It is something beyond intellect. But then we have to pursue, we have only option is the intellect, to pursue God. So therefore they give these pointers, giving some direction to our thinking. Don't take these things to be explaining God. What is God you can never understand. What is Brahman you cannot understand. It is beyond. You can't define it. That's why you will find all the ideas of God that we have. All gods have to have human element in it. That's what Vivekananda says. All gods, you see, there is a human element in it. Even if you say, sir, we have Ganesha who has elephant, but he also has 4 hands only, not 4 legs. Nandi Bhagavan is there also. He also what? Why? Because it is human intelligence that has created it, remember. It's created by human. So it will carry that element of human in it. You can't escape. See, what these masters talk about is not what you have conceived, not what you have visualized. All the gods that we think of is all our visualization, human visualization. Imagine all buffaloes were to visualize God. All ants were to visualize God. That God would be totally different from human God. See, anything you visualize, it will have human element in it. You conceive of alien, it will have human element in it. Isn't it? Avatar. It has human element in it. You seen this movie Cars? Animation. You saw that? Atya. There is a male hero car, heroine car, villain car. You see, finally, hero car falls in love with the heroine car. What is it? All these things are what? Human, isn't it? If you visualize, you have to visualize with human element only. You have no other option. You can't escape that. You see, therefore, Krishna is also using the same methodology to teach. See, but then don't take. Actually, cars are going to be falling in love with each other. See, Air Buddies. Isn't that movie? Air Buddies? No. The dog will sit and meditate. You know that? It will chant Om every day morning. The dog will sit and practice meditation. Om, Om, the dog will do. Now don't expect your dog to sit and do meditation now. But the human sees, he will see all that in dogs also. That is why you think the dog loves you. You see that? You think the dog loves you. The dog never loves you, remember. You have conditioned the dog, that's all. It is conditioning, it's not love. See? No dog has love with it. But we all believe what? Dogs have compassion. Animals have compassion. Animals have love. And one fellow sends one picture also. There's a picture, na? Two policemen standing. They don't know how to open the tap. One monkey comes and opens the tap and shows that fellow, drink water. Raiguda temple. Raiguda temple, there's a picture. That monkey comes and opens the tap for that fellow because he is not able to open the tap. Therefore, what does it prove? All monkeys are very compassionate. Go to Vralimalai, you know. You know what monkeys are. It's so interesting to see. We superimpose our things because it is impossible for human intelligence to function without seeing a mirror image of itself. It's impossible. Wherever we go, whatever we transact with, even with objects, we start superimposing our things now. Aliens, you say, you superimpose. Alien comes to the earth, it falls in love with the human. Thor, the fellow comes from there and falls in love with the girl here. Son of God. Falls in love with the girl here. Alien comes, falls in love with the girl here. Strange. Why? You don't know any other way. What to do? Therefore, they also speak the same language. What is that you understand? All that you can conceive of, all that you can understand, they say, this is me, 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 this is me. They're all to see you, God. He says, you can see me everywhere in that special attribute. That special attribute, that is me. This is me. Of all the knowledges, all that you can understand, this is me. Of all the branch of knowledges that you can have, where you can find me. Don't try to see me in physics books, chemistry, botany, zoology, mathematics. Where? In the Vedas. So when you see the Vedas, what is it? That is God. So of all the knowledges, I am that Veda. I am this, that. And then what does he do? This is what he is giving here in verse 19. Tapamiyaham. What do I do? I give heat. Heat means in the form of sun. I give heat. I give that heat in any form. Right? Even if you have ultra red rays, Sona bath, where you get heat from same sun, same heat. Wherever you see heat, wherever you see that warmth, wherever you see that energy, vitality, I am the giver of that. I give heat. Then I give rain, aham varsham. And I withhold rain also. The seasons, what he is referring to is the season. There is a pattern. There is a specific pattern in the world. There is a rule there. There is a law. What he is referring to is there is a law that governs withholding and releasing. Law. Don't tamper with it. See, you don't decide. Like that priest, that hermit in the olive tree. You see, he started dictating terms. That it knows when to reign, when to give sun and shade, when to give what is to be given. He who made it well knows better than a man like me. And he says, I am that, I withhold, I send forth rain. I give it. Amritam. You have to keep adding the word aham everywhere. Okay. Amritam. I am immortality. And also, I am mrityu, death also. I am immortality. Also, I am mrityu. Death also me. How can you be both? Very difficult to conceive. See, it's very easy for you to conceive God to be Amritam. Yeah, that is correct, sir. God is immortal. Correct. But to conceive God to be death, not God of death. God of death is Yama. That is different. That is not what we are discussing here. Yes, the very death itself is me. Aham mrityu. I am death. We all are interested to see birth. Isn't it? There's a tremendous excitement about birth. There's a tremendous discomfort and fear about death. Fascinating to see. To such a person, he says, I am Mrityu. So when you say, I don't want death, what you are denying? Who you are rejecting? What you are rejecting actually? You are rejecting God. The very idea of God you are rejecting. See, death is me, he says. Very difficult to conceive. This is how people just put it across. See, I am sun, no problem. I give rain, correct, sir. Pattern is there, there is, correct. God gives, and that fellow doesn't know when to give and when to withhold, where to give, where not to give. All the rain comes in Bangalore instead of catchment area. See, God should, I were to be God, what I will do? I will switch on the rain. What time? 10 o'clock in the night. Switch off by morning 5 o'clock. So 10 to 5, rain. No problem, no. Timing. Quantum, also how much? That much is enough. place also, we seem to be having a better sense of rain than nature. Isn't it? Rains in places where there is no need. Right? There's no use at all actually. And it rains at the wrong time, wrong place. Only when I want to drive, only rain starts. See, all these days simply sitting in the house, no rain. I say, okay, let's go out. I come out, rain starts. I don't know why it is like that. God doesn't know. We seem to be having a better intelligence than Him. This and all is not a big problem. And this is how His masters will slip in ideas. They just slip in. I am Amritam. That God we want. But he says, I am Mrityu. That's why people chant, the first learning. When you say, I'm going to learn the Vedas, first thing they teach is Rudram. Rudram is the first thing they teach. They say, I wanted to learn the Vedas. They say, learn Rudram first. Then we'll talk about other things. They teach. And you are supposed to be chanting it every day. Fortunately, people don't know the meaning. You are describing who they? Entire Rudra, you are describing what? God of death only. Rudra is who? Aham Mrityu, he says, no, Rudra. You are worshipping him. You are worshipping what? Worshipping death here. Weird people. Fear. Why there is discomfort? Mrityu is not a problem. The problem is where? The problem is with reference to the attachment to the body. Where there is attachment to the body, you will have fear of death. You will have discomfort. Fear in the sense, you feel uncomfortable. Sir, let's discuss about something else. Let's change the topic. We don't want to discuss. We don't want to have any sort of thinking on this. Why? It is the discomfort. He says, I am that Mrityu. I am that Sat and Asat. I am that existence and non-existence. Sat is that which exists. Being. Asat is non-being, that which is not existing. Asat. Non-being. I am sentient and I am insentient. How is it possible? You are sentient, also insentient. If you are sentient, you cannot be insentient. If you are insentient, you cannot be sentient. It's not possible. Both cannot work together. But he says, I am both. Why? Only then it is complete. Otherwise, it is incomplete. If you put God on one side and devil on other side, then there are parallels. Then you have to answer the question, who created the demon? Devil. Who created the devil then? If you say God created it, then the question comes is what? If God created the devil, then we have to answer that question, why did he create it? Unnecessary, no? He created the garden, he had let loose these fellows, he said, enjoy. Then why unnecessarily he create one? Satan. And allow that Satan to come and tempt. Okay, you created a Satan, create another garden and put that fellow there. Okay, Satan, God. Is there okay garden for him also? Like these people had, no? All the devas will be in heaven, asuras will be in. You fellows are living in one loka, those people are living in another loka. Problem solved. Isn't it? Divided. You go there, you don't go to this place, you don't go to this place. You are not allowed to enter there, they are not allowed to enter here. Problem solved. Now suddenly we are lost. Why? If you put these two things in two different compartments, you get into this theological conflicts. You can never answer it. Only thing you have to say is what? That's the will of God. Will of God is not an answer at all, because if you say it is will of God, then after that whatever happened is also will of God only. Right? After that he can't say you have sinned. Isn't it? Your will only, no? And then you can't say, I live according to your will. You can't suddenly say, I am responsible for it. I am not responsible for it. You are in trouble. You get into that knot. Why? You have not understood. That's what Vedanta comes and reconciles the whole thing. It says, you know why? Because if you have to call something as truth complete, complete means it should carry both. Only then it is complete. If you say God is going to be all good, right? No bad at all, then it's not a complete idea. All that you can think of good, all that you can think of bad, put together, one is God. That God is very difficult for us to understand. You can't even relate to it. You see that? How is that possible? God. And then again immediately your thinking will go, see, God has both. If you are good, He will be good. If you are bad, He will be bad. Again you come to what? Same thing. My relationship to Him. How He is going to be relating to human beings alone. How God is going to be relating to other creatures, we have no concern at all. See, no? You're all with me? I don't know. I just keep talking. I don't know what I'm talking also. We try to conceive God only with reference to how He is going to be relating to my life, to human beings, right? How He is going to be relating to chicken, that is not our problem. And then we say what? God has created, and in front of God everybody is equal. Everybody is equal means what? All human beings only equal He will see. He will never say ant, elephant, human, all same. In God's eyes, imagine if He were to take a stand. Look here, all equal. Then what happens to all our sense of That is why we wanted to always feel superior, special. We think in the whole creation is only centered around human beings. And then we say there are millions and billions and trillions of creatures. From where they all came? God created all that only to entertain human beings. Problem solved. You see? Entertainment. I can't understand in what way lion is an entertainment for human beings. Reverse is possible. Right? We are entertainment to tigers, possible. How come tigers become entertainment for us? Now you can't say, sir, now we have controlling them. No, that's because of your will. In this thinking, there is no human will. Because everything happens at the will of God only. Which means there is no human will at all. Then how do you reconcile the whole thing? He says, impossible. Sat, Asat. Fascinating term. Beautiful words there. Sat and Asat. Amritam, Mrityu. I withhold, I give. All opposites, conflicting things. You see, he says all the contradicting things exist in me together because I am total, complete. I am whole. Therefore, a whole includes both. That's what he is giving here. I am this, I am this, I am this. Now that he has given all this, next he moves on to how people relate to me. So first he promised, Raja Vidya, I am going to teach. Right? And that's the Raja Vidya he gave. And then he started switching over to describing what is his nature, what is his form. And now again he moves to the next idea. He goes back to the fundamental idea of how people relate to me. How people relate, there are two ways people relate to me. One group of people relate to me with a limited understanding, meaning ignorant people. And then there are people who relate to me with a clear understanding, wise people. Those are the two classes he gives. In verse 20 and 21, he is explaining about how the ignorant people relate. How they relate and what they are seeking and what they achieve. What is their status, what they seek, what they achieve. This is the topic now from 20 to 28. In that 20 and 21, he is explaining the limited one. And then he goes on to explain how people relate with the absolute. 20:21 is explaining people follow Sakama Bhakti. Next one is Nishkama Bhakti. So what do you strive, what do you seek in life? You seek God, there's no doubt about it. Those who are not seeking God is ruled out in the last topic itself. The deluded. That's not what he is referring here. Right? Here he is referring to a special class of people. A class of people who are ignorant, but they have lot of faith. They are sincere. They are genuine. But unfortunately, they don't have that vairagya. They lack that vairagya. They lack that viveka. The depth, that strength of viveka and the solidarity of their vairagya is not there. But they are genuine, sincere people. That is what he is referring here. See, in the last topic when he is talking about, he ruled out the deluded. Then he said there are other people who seek me, my devotees. That devotees he classifies into two here. One with the limited, genuine with the limited understanding. Who are they? Sakama Bhaktas. Then you have those who have that capacity to discriminate and understand. Those who have that vairagya, those who have that understanding, those people were classified as Kama Bhaktas. So there are two classes explained here. Verse 20 to 28. 20, 21, Sakama. Right. 22 to 28 is Kama Bhakta. Right. Yes. This Artha, not Artha. I also got lost. What is that Artha suddenly came from? Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu. Sakama Bhaktas. Jnani is a Nishkama Bhakta. In the language of 8th chapter, if you want to take. This is the classification here. Now, why is he talking about Sakama Bhaktas now again? Why is he talking about them now? Why should he talk about them? Anyway, he dismissed it. No. Sir, waste, sir. Dismiss it. Why? To Arjuna, he should be glorifying who? Arjuna, who is a Sakama Bhakta, to him he should be glorifying about whom more? Nishkama Bhakta. Why again and again he is talking about Sakama Bhaktas? Time and again you will see he is repeating, he is saying the same thing. You see that? Why is he doing it? Advertising plan. Promotion. How do you promote? Philosophy lab. Simple tactic. Advertisement tactic. What is advertisement tactics? Detergent powder. Dirty cloth. And you take it and you have your powder without any name on that. Have you seen advertisement? Without any name. Wash. Show. What is it? It's gone, but still nothing. Then he brings in his powder. I am not referring the name. See. Brand. Krishna detergent powder. Okay. Now what happens? Put that and take it out. Suddenly what is it? So bright. So what do you understand? Which one you should go for now? Which one you should buy now? That you should go. That's why he is repeating. He says, Sakama Bhakta. He says, wash. It goes off. But then, when you wash it with that Nishkama Bhakti powder, if you use, it is better than the new one. That's how it looks, isn't it? After that, brand new, You buy from the shop, you bring it. You see that after few years, used it, and then washing this detergent powder, it looks better than the original. That is how advertisement is supposed to be showing. Right? You are not supposed to fall for it. But invariably, what happens to all of us? You know that's not the truth. Suddenly, these people say, is there salt in your toothpaste? Sir, for ages we were using salt to brush. These people, local fellows, we use only toothpaste. Even tooth powder were classified as local, Initially, first came the tooth powder, Gopal Palpudi. The other one, four, it's another. What is it in your house you had? Pioria. Pioria Palpudi. West one I have had. Pioria Palpudi. It's not there now. Market. Their house they had. Pioria Palpudi. After that they say what? Paste. Toothpaste. Sophisticated people use toothpaste. Now the advertisement says what? Is there salt in your paste? Hey, that is what we were using earlier. Charcoal. You know that? Charcoal is what we were using. So many generations actually we were using it. These people brought it and now they are coming back to that saying what? No, I will pack it and give it to you. And our fellows also go and buy that. I've seen a grocery shop with the title Xerox. Have you seen? Grocery shop has that. I saw in Chennai. Kaliman Koil Street. Chennai, if you go, Virgampakam, Kaliman Koil Street. If you go there is a grocery shop. There is no photocopy machine there. It's a grocery shop. In that shop, board is Xerox. And people go there. They buy it. Have you seen anyone asking you to take a photocopy and bring? They say a Xerox copy. Why? That's the power of advertisement. See? Advertisement power is that. Keep repeating. Same strategy. Krishna also adopted it. I should say the other way around. Actually, the strategy used by the Shastras is that it will talk about Sakama and then dismiss that and go to Nishkama. Same thing is doing here. Verse 20. Yes. The knowers of the three Vedas, drinkers of Soma, herbal juice, purified of papas, sins, worshipping me by yajnas, sacrifices, pray for passage to heaven. They, reaching the holy world of the Lord of the gods, enjoy the divine pleasures of the gods in heaven. That's a meter change. Suddenly it's changing a meter. Why? Just to show us the difference. Now he is talking about different group of people. What is a different group? Sakama Bhaktas. Those who pursue with the utilitarian spirit. Sakama Bhakta means utilitarian spirit with which they pursue God. Who are they? Those ignorant people were called by Krishna as knowers of the Vedas. Trividya means those who know the Vedas. They are called ignorant people. Fascinating to see. And then what they do? The drinkers of Soma. Soma Papa. Papa means drinking. Papa is sin. Right? Soma Papa means drinkers of that Soma juice. Soma is a root, herb. You see, they extract that and perform one yajna. Very popular yajna. Amongst all the yajnas, Soma yajna is one of the most popular ones. So those who do that yajna, here he says Soma Papa. Soma Papa means those who drink. Now people take it literally. You see, so what they do is they go to the yajna and ask for that Soma juice, right? And drink that. And they think all this will happen. Whatever happens after that. What is that? They go to purified of papas. All their papas are purified. All the sins gone. Those who drink that Soma juice. Right? So all that you have to do is what? Go, find out that herb, get that, squeeze, extract the juice and drink. Because that's what he says, no? Drinkers of Soma, that Soma juice. Right? Those who drink. Because that's the meaning of it. The meaning of the word Somapa means drinking, eating. In this context is anything that you consume. Consumables is called as paha. Paha means that. That's why this cooking is called as Swayampada. So it's self-cooking. Means you prepare on your own and eat. That is called a Swayampada. So here is a Somapa means those who drink because it is a juice. So you don't eat a juice, you drink. That's why it is translated as drinkers of Soma, the herbal juice, extract. And what happens to those people? Purified of papas. So all their papas gets purified. Then what? Then they go Swargatim. They go to Swarga, heaven. Reaching the holy world of the Lord of the gods. Lord of the gods means Indraloka. That's what is referred. Right? Devaloka. Go there, enjoy the divine pleasures of the gods in heaven. Enjoy the divine pleasures. Not like our pleasure. Now, divine pleasure it is. What is the difference? divine pleasure. There is a touch of divinity to it. What is the touch of divinity? You want to enjoy here. How do you enjoy? Laddu. Right? You have to enjoy laddu. What do you do? Eat. Correct? In heaven, you see that laddu, you get that same joy. You don't have to eat. You see it. Enough. That's what he says. All that you have to do is what? Just see. By seeing itself, you can derive so much of pleasure. What is the need to contact? There's no need to touch. There's no need to do anything. That's why any time you see the description of heaven, even in the movies you will find. The first scene will be what? Indra Loka means immediately what? Huh? Loka. Huh? Ah. That's it. First scene is what? You see the dance. That's all. There is no contact at all. You just see the dance enough. That seeing itself gives you tremendous pleasure. No need for any contact. No need of touching along. Seeing is enough. You don't have to eat for you to enjoy that ice cream there. Ice cream there, just keep it there. Now, we can't even understand. Were you able to understand that? There it is. How can you enjoy without even? You have to eat? No. Only then there's enjoyment, isn't it? No. When the child comes from abroad, after 2.5 years, Corona, that's why he didn't come. After 2.5 years, he comes. Right? And you have prepared the dish which he likes the most. What is that you have prepared? Nothing. Pattakadu. Right? And Zuttapram. Because that's what he will not get there. Right? So you prepare it and keep. And that fellow is eating that. Seeing him eating, who gets more joy? The mother or the child? He is also deriving joy. After 2.5 years, he is having Pattakadu Suttapram. Yesterday I had the combination I am saying. Pattakadu Suttapram after, I don't know how long. Tremendous joy. But the joy that the mother derives is she eating? She is not eating. Someone else is eating. Seeing someone else eating, she is deriving joy. Why? How? Identification, isn't it? Just identification. You just have to identify. If you can identify, then what happens? There is no need for you to contact, to derive joy. In fact, you would be able to derive better quality joy. Higher quality joy you can experience without even contacting it. Since it is the source of this joy is the divine quality called identification. That is what heavenly joy is. That's why he calls it as divine pleasure. Divine pleasure is now what again? Something we understand. It's not that you have to go there. Even here you can get it. If you can identify with people around you, There's no need for you to want it. When they grow, when they enjoy, when they are successful, you feel the same success. But the problem is what? You think it is identification, but it is attachment. That is why there is no divine pleasure. In heaven, the pleasures are uninterrupted pleasure. There is no mix of sorrow. Pleasure without any mix of agitation, sorrow is called heaven. This mother on earth also enjoys that. For how long? Till what time? It is not elongating itself. It is interrupted consistently with sorrow. So every pleasure that you experience in the world, right, Mrittiloka, in the world is full of, mixed with sorrow, at least. Full of sorrow, strictly speaking. But once in a while you get some pleasure, that's about it. Here, you go to heaven, what is it? There it is uninterrupted. Full sukha. No asukha at all actually. Without any disturbance from sorrow. No visitation of sorrow. Continuous visitation of only pleasure. Is it possible? Of course it is possible. Provided you are able to have that quality. For that, what is needed? Go backwards. For that, what you have to do now? You have to perform that Soma Yajna. That doesn't mean, don't say that immediately all of us from next week we will start Soma Yajna. Right? You need to understand. That's why he says, Somapaha, drinker. Drinkers here means those who, see, the ritual is that. The ritual is they extract that juice and offer it to the gods. And the leftovers was consumed by these people. Right? Drinkers, Soma means the session. In other places, the session is, leftovers are considered as tamasic. They are not supposed to. They are supposed to be thrown out. But here, the Soma juice, sesha is the valuable one. So that you drink, meaning, roundabout way of saying it actually, but that is how they are supposed to be taught. The scriptures teach in that language. Meaning, those who have performed the Soma Yajna. Somapaha means those who have performed that Soma Yajna as given in the Vedas, in the prescribed manner, the manner in which it's supposed to be performed. What is the proof of it? Proof of it is Bhutavapaha, meaning they are purified. They are purified of what? This is very, very interesting. These people get a purification. Yes. What is a purification? Keep it in the background. Right? Come to the next line. What is that? Sir, they do this yajna. They get purified of papas. Correct? They worshipping me by those yajnas. Yes. They are worshipping God in the form of various deities. Indra, Varuna, Soma, this one, that one, all those things are nothing but various forms of me, meaning Brahman, God, expression. These are all manifestations. They are not gods. They are manifestations of Brahman. Correct. Catch is in the next line. Pray for passage to heaven. This you need to link with purified of papas. Right? If you don't link it, you will be lost. You have to connect these two ideas. What is it? Their intention of doing that Soma Yajna or this purified actions, Yajna activities, worship and all that they do, whatever they do in the name of the effort. So all those actions were done, directed towards God. So they have invoked the deity. After invoking Brahman, God, what is that they ask? Their agenda is what? Heaven. That's the catch here. Surendra Loka. So they are seeking what? They are seeking only heaven. So their idea is to go to heaven. Nothing wrong in it. He's not saying it's wrong or anything. Their agenda is heaven. So if I have to go to heaven, whatever I am supposed to do as per the injunctions of the Vedas, I follow. I do. Very orthodox way of interpreting it is, these people follow the Purva Mimamsa, meaning the earlier portion of the Vedic Vedas. This is the idea. So these people, what they do, this. Because of all this, what is the consequence of the action? Consequences, purified of papas. Now we have to understand and interpret. Okay, now we go back to this idea of, okay, sir, purification happens. What type of purification happens to these people? They get purified, but they get purified of their sins. Their agitations gets purified. But this purification is very different from the purification of the desires. Remember. Okay. Purification with the desire is different. Here, they get purified. First layer of purification happens to these people. What is that? They get purified from performing wrong actions. So actions were classified under three categories. Remember. Selfish, unselfish, selfless. These are the three classifications of action. When you perform selfish action, what is selfish actions? Actions which are performed only with the idea of me. That's it. Nothing else. Only me. Unselfish is opposite. If you write M ulta, what is it? W. Then what it becomes? Me. That's all. Selfish. Unselfish. In unselfishness, what do you have? Exactly opposite. Mirror image of it. What is it now? M will badal W. Me becomes we. That's it. Unselfish. So when you perform unselfish actions, when you are concentrating on performance of unselfish actions, what you are not performing? Selfish actions. So you are purified of what? Selfish. But you are carrying this unselfish desire. See that? Earlier you are performing actions propelled by your selfish desires. Now you are performing actions propelled by unselfish desires. However, your actions are propelled by desires. That purification has not happened. But what is the purification here? From selfish, you have converted that to unselfish. So, your likes and dislikes and your desires, your raga dveshas have not been eradicated here. Remember, you are not purified of your desires, your kama. You are purified of what then? You are purified of prohibited actions. You no longer perform prohibited. What is prohibited action? Selfish actions are prohibited. Right. Nishiddha karma. 4th chapter. Remember, he introduced them. Actions were classified into 4 categories. Nishiddha karma, and then kamya karma, and then nitya naimittika karma, which is obligation. Nitya naimittika karmas is what? Selfless. Kamya karma, unselfish desire. Nishiddha karma, selfish desire. See? Otherwise you can understand what is kamya karma. Kamya karma, when you say, it has to be what? Unselfish. When you perform such unselfish actions, what you gain? You gain punya. When you get punya, where you go to? Heaven. That's what he says. Purified of sins. You are purified of what? You are purified not of your desires. To get the purification of a desire, what you have to do? 22. Right? Verse 22. Not this. Here purification happens. What's the purification? Selfish desires are eradicated. Right? Selfish desire got replaced. Strictly speaking, you can't say it is eradicated. It is replaced. Instead of selfish, you have started developing unselfish desires. And you are performing all that unselfish actions. Those unselfish actions is what is technically or theoretically, traditionally referred as yajnas in this context. Right? In the 4th chapter, 12 yajnas is of a different context. Okay? There it is referred to movement from this to selfless. How do you get out of it? There. But here what he is referring to is, where is a clue? The clue lies in this one. Surendra Lokam. So they want what? Agenda is what? Surendra Lokam. So they go to there and they enjoy. So they perform the Soma Yajna, they get purified of all the papas, all that is gone. So they get to this. So what is the purification here? When you are performing unselfish actions, you are avoiding selfishness in you. You are getting rid of all selfish, self-centered, ego and egocentric, selfish, desired actions, which is referred as Nishiddha karmas. But you have performing what? Kamya karma. Where is a clue? Clue ingana. Surendra Lokam is a clue. Because it is. So you go there. Now, Surendra Loka is different from the other. What is that? 21. Now, what is the effect? Okay, I go to, Swarga Loka and enjoy. What is your problem, man? Immediately we ask this question. Okay, what's wrong with that? I want to have a good life. What's wrong? 21. enjoyed that vast world of heaven, their punya, merit exhausted, enter the world of mortals. Thus, abiding by the injunctions of the three Vedas, desiring objects of desire, they attain the state of going and coming. Gatagatam. Gatagatam means going and coming. Going and coming, he is referring to what? The cycle of samsara. Going means death, coming means birth. That is referring, birth and death refers to what? The cycle of samsara. What happens? They attain that state of samsara. They get back to that samsaric state only. So which means you are never out of samsara actually. Going and coming means you are never out of it. You are still inside only. So those who perform those actions, prescribed unselfish actions, what happens to those people? They go there. Where they go, first line beautifully explains. The first line, it says, having enjoyed the vast world of heaven. What is it now? Swargalokam is qualified. What is that Swargaloka? It is Vishala. Vishala means vast. Vast in the sense of what? Vast in the sense of quality, vast in the sense of quantity, vast in the sense of variety, vast in the sense of duration. Imagine life. Huh? Just imagine. No? This is exactly what in Kathopanishad Yama offers to Nachiketas. First he says, quality I'll give you. Okay, quality, if you have good quality but enough, no quantity, boring. You see, very good quality is there, but only one piece of pizza only there. Ella watch. Or people go to this blueberry cheesecake birthday party. You came little late. So what had happened? They finished all that. This is the last piece, and you take it. Fantastic taste. But what is the quality? Superb. Quantity? Not enough. So he says what? Swargaloka means what? It is tremendous quantity. High quantity, vast. You can't even measure it. So big it is. Imagine best quality, best quantity, but no variety. Then also it's boring, no? Isn't it? However good it is, once in a while you have to watch Malayalam movie also to enjoy Telugu movie. No? How can you go on watching Telugu movie? Not possible. So what do you have to do? How can you go on listening to only Carnatic music? Once in a while you have to listen to Kuttu song also. Only then you can enjoy. That variety should be there. Otherwise you can't enjoy. Some contrast, some variety. Variety is what there? A lot. How long you can get all that? Huh? He says what? Duration for all this is also huge. You see? That's what is described. Earlier we have seen that in the 8th chapter. 4.32 billion years is one day. And then night time is there. Another 4.32. So 124 hours for that Devaloka, what he is referring to, one day is equal to what? 8.64 million years. Compressed. Ramayana serial, all of you have seen. Huh? Ramayana? How many years it was going? Episode. How many episodes were there? Ramayana. With all the songs and this, that, and all that, Episodes. Anyone remember? Around 200 episodes? 250 episodes. Every episode is for about 20 minutes, half an hour. Right? Full will be for how long? Right? But Valmiki, Ramayana itself is how many? 24,000 shlokas. Bhagavad Gita has only 700 shlokas. I don't know when we started this Bhagavad Gita class. Okay. We are just reaching the 9th chapter. Valmiki's Ramayana is well on. Mahabharata serial, have you seen? How many episodes? But original text is how long? Well, not too much. Harry Potter. Book versus movie. Movie is how long? Huh? 1.5 hours? 1.5 hours, that's all. Okay, 1 hour 45 minutes maybe maximum. Not more than that. And those who have read the book, they say what? So much in the story is still missing. Still missing. But you enjoy that movie. Why you are able to enjoy that movie? One song. Suryavamsam. There's a movie. Have you seen that movie? Amitabh Bachchan did. Suryavamsam, the double action. The heroine, she decides to join for IAS. She clears the prelims, finishes IAS, and becomes a collector to her own district. You know that? You know that all IAS people don't get to become a collector. Everyone doesn't become a collector. And straight she is posted as collector, and all that happened in a matter of one song. I said, no simple. Rajinikanth becomes a multi-billionaire. One song. Annamalai. In one song, the fellow was a pauper in the street. No house also. There, he becomes a multi-millionaire. He owns about, 25 five-star hotels. One song. In life is impossible. That so much happening should be compressed and given to you in a matter of one song. You're able to enjoy. Imagine what happens in 8.64 million compressed to one unit. Oh. What a quality it must be. Like that it goes for how many years? Like that it goes for years. Oh. All that has happened is one day for Brahma. 100 years of such, when it passes for Indra, is one day in Brahmaloka. You need all the story to understand that one word. What is this? This is Vishala. Vishala means what? Huge man. So much is there. And you will be really tempted. Arey wow. Should go that man. Wait. Verse is not over. Wait. There, punya exhausted. What happens? You get so much of punya. Where all your punya gets exhausted. Enter the world of mortals. They get back. Shine punye. Shinam means destruction. Shinatvam. Yes. Shine punye. Martyaloka. You fall back to this world of mortals. Thus abiding by the injunctions of the three Vedas, those who are following the instructions given there, meaning what he is referring to is they are abiding the injunctions, means they are following the instructions mechanically. Mechanical following. Remember, instructions are not wrong. Right? People think, instructions are wrong. Rituals are wrong. Rituals are not wrong. It is the performer who makes it wrong. Why? Because of a wrong understanding. Because of lack of vision. Lack of clarity, lack of depth of vairagya. Because it is so simple, very simple logic, right? Veda is one book, right? Huh? How is it possible that the first part of the Vedas were so irrational, but the second part is so logical? How is it possible? Huh? Either you say both are irrational and reject, or you say both are logical and accept. To say first part is mechanical, later part is so alert and aware. Suddenly you come to the Upanishads, everything becomes perfect sequential, perfect logic, perfect reasoning. But earlier portion of the Vedas only mechanical. It will not go together. Don't you see something fishy about it? You are supposed to inquire them immediately. Sir, how is it possible? In one book, or else you have to call it as two separate books. At least we can understand. Sir, that is written by somebody else, this is written by somebody else. Okay. But here, it's not the case. Veda is one. That same text carries the Upanishads, which is so much of logic, so much of reason, so analytical, so rational, but the earlier part of it is illogical, mechanical. Suddenly, how can you develop awareness? It's not. Only two options are there. Either you accept both are logical, or you say both are illogical. Right? Then we can start the reasoning. Right? To claim first part is illogical, later part is logical. You are not thinking at all actually. You are not even having a basic understanding of how same book carrying both. That's not possible. Therefore, what you need to understand, when he says following the injunctions of the three Vedas, they are abiding by that. They are following it. But they are not following it the way the Vedas are asking them to follow. They are following it with their own understanding of, which which is in a simple language, they have missed the spirit of the whole performance. But then they are practicing it, they are doing it, for which they will be rewarded. It's not that they are not going to be rewarded. What is the reward? They go to heaven. What sort of a heaven? Vast one. Don't think you are just going to be rewarded something casual. Anyway, bonus you give. And these people have to fight for that. If you don't give bonus, we'll go for strike. Okay, chalo, take. Not like that. They give what? Huge. So much you will get. Imagine following it mechanically itself, you are going to be getting so much of benefit. Imagine if you have to follow with understanding. This fascinating idea, these two verses. Wherever they talk about it. See, you need to understand this to recognize the next one. This is the following verse to recognize. You need a clarity here. You know, having exhausted the merit, they enter the world of the mortals. They go there, but they fall back. Why they fall back? And what happens when you fall actually like that? Imagine you are living like that for a long period of time. What would have happened to you psychologically? You would got used to it, means you would have started believing that to be permanent. Isn't it? Imagine, it's there for as far back as your memory goes, it is there with you. So you will take that for granted. Suddenly one day what will happen? You'll be chucked out. Do you understand what's the meaning of that? If you don't, watch that movie King Lear. The whole movie King Lear, the most important part of the movie is this part. The one who lived a life of a king for 80 years, when he is thrown out, what does he do? Remember, that's the only option available for kings. Begging is the only thing they can do. They cannot go to the neighboring king and say, I know how to run a state. I will help you to run your state. Let me become your minister. Can he? I will become your advisor. Can he? See, a minister is thrown out of a country, he can go to another country and become a minister. A businessman goes to another country, can start a business again. We have seen that. Sony, no? Isn't it? Sony or Ford? Sony is the one, no, which lost the whole thing. They lost the whole thing. And the fellow built it again. Came back much better. Isn't it? Germany, devastated, First World War. In 30 years, the fellows are ready for the Second World War. Can bounce back. Whereas, for these people, you know what? The tragedy is, you are believing that to be permanent when you are living that life that is permanently you are going to be in heaven. How far? I have got my citizenship. Suddenly the fellow says what? You are thrown out of this country. Get out. And then you get out. Where you go? Huh? You fall from there to where? Huh? You fall back to this. Oh, you say Shakespeare, what a fall is there, my country. And you have to be that position to recognize how shocking it will be for the person. You know, that's a tragedy of you got to see such people overnight. In this partition, you should read those books. Oh, unbelievable. Those who were landlords and they had their business and they had their money, they had their land, their house, their vehicles, everything was there with them. Overnight, what happened? Fall back to nothing. You know, what a shock that was. And then what you do? Go back to verse 20 again. 3 Vedas, again Somayagya, again get it, again go where? Go to heaven and start believing what? This. Again what you do? This. The one who has that capacity to recognize, not just going and coming, going and coming. Going to what and coming back to what? Going to something. See, if you go to hell and come back to earth, this is better. But the tragedy is not that. The real tragedy of life is you go to heaven and come back to earth, human. The pain of that is what I am giving is just a very, 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 very feeble, very, very ordinary example. The comparison is like, a fracture, multiple fracture to a pinprick. A pinprick this is. Those who have lost during partition and coming back is like a pinprick to the person who is falling from heaven to earth. With that you should read the same verse, going and coming. Oh, you, sir, I don't want to go. Is the only conclusion you can come to. See, I don't want to go there. Why unnecessarily put in so much of effort, go there only to come back? Why come back? We'll see next class. Why come back? Coming back is a pain. Recognize that first. See, so much of effort. You go to heaven and then exhaust. You live there for a long period of time. Because you are living it for a long period of time, you believe it is permanent. Because permanency as far as we are concerned, that's why he qualifies that by saying Vishala. Don't think Swarga is just like you go and come, you go and come. No, Vishala. Vishala means so long, so long, so long, so long, almost like your fairy tale book ending. They got married and lived happily forever. But no fairy tale continues after 2 years of marriage. See, after 2 years nobody continues. But at that point of time it looks like what? Forever it is. No, you will fall back. Imagine to fall from there to this. A person who is used to traveling by flight, ask him to take a train and go. Delhi. Duranto is here? Bangalore, Delhi? No. Anybody knows? Chennai, Duranto. Bangalore, Rajdhani. 36 hours. You reach Delhi. Wow. go. The fellow says, sir, train not a problem. But you know the problem? What is the first problem? Toilet. The airport you see people, isn't it? As soon as they come out, first thing they go is what? Not to collect the luggage. So, in the train, the problem is what? Sir, 72 fellows were to use, average 72, no? That number. 72 fellows were to use the 4. Is that Western problem? Right, Indian, my problem is what? I can sit. 2 fellows have to come to lift me up. Right, squatting because we have forgotten. Right, we don't know how to sit now. Now I can't sit in that Western because it is not healthy. Indian, I cannot sit. 36 hours, how can I travel? Therefore, sir, easy to travel by flight. Tell the person who is used to traveling by chartered flight. Ask him to travel by normal flight. He says what? Bejar, sir. It is better to go by. Why? That fall is not possible. Imagine a person who is traveling by chartered flight has to go by BMTC bus. Catch a BMTC bus, go to the main bus stand and then wait for the local bus to come. Change, go. You will die. This is pinprick compared to the person who is falling from heaven to earth. To fall back from heavenly lifestyle to human birth is like that. Models. Intelligent fellow will not go for it. That's why these people are called ignorant. Not deluded. They are not deluded. Deluded is already dismissed. They are ignorant people. That ignorant people is whom he calls as the knowers of Vedas. It's a very, very, what they call? Sarcastic, no? Sarcastic, I say, Brihaspati. Brihaspati. Means what? Stupid. They know the letters of the Vedas, they don't know the spirit.